In today's episode of What's in My Quilter's Toolbox, I want to tell you about a problem that I've had and the tool that I found to fix it. This is a scrap quilt that I have been working on for the last week or so. I spent a good amount of time laying it out on the wall, making sure that all of the colors were in places that I like them to be, that in particular that the strips in the centers, that I didn't have the same strips right together, so I had points matching and that sort of thing. Now the question is, how do I get it off of the wall to my sewing machine and then back up on the wall, all put together in exactly the right orientation? Many times I have said, oh, I can do this, I'll just stack them up a certain way and it'll be fine, and it hasn't been. So let me show you what I'm using to fix that problem. The tool that I have used to fix my problem is called Marilee's numbered Q pins. I bought these a number of years ago, but just really haven't used them, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Each pin has a number on the end of it. I think there's 130 pins numbered from 1 to 20. The idea is that you can put the pin in the block and it will tell you exactly where in the orientation it belongs. Now the reason I have not used this previously is because of the design of the box. When you open it, it has all these nice little pie wedges, and ideally each of the pins should fit in its own wedge. So when all the number ones are in one wedge, all the number twos, and so on and so forth. In reality, what happens when you open this is it looks like this. The pins go everywhere. They just don't fit easily in those little pie wedges, and I think probably that the lid doesn't fit tight enough on it to hold them in place is the problem. So I've kind of avoided this tool because of that. Today I realized I really needed this tool, so I had to figure out a way to make it work. So what I did was take some scraps and make myself a pin cushion. Just divided it into sections, and each section has a different number of pin in it. I think it took maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes to do, and I think it's going to make using this tool so much easier. Again, I like the idea. I am looking forward to using it on my quilt, and I'm happy with this solution that I've come up with. So now I have placed a numbered pin in the middle of each one of the remaining blocks. Once I got to 20, I started back over with 1. Hopefully I can at least keep the top section and the back section separate. So I'm going to take them all off the wall at one time, put them on my sewing machine, and just have a fun time sewing blocks and strips together. Here goes. So number 1 and number 2 are lined up. Number 2 is on the right of number 1. Let's fold it over and let's sew. So here we are again a couple of hours later, and it's all pieced together and all in the correct orientation. I did make a few mistakes along the way, especially early on, not thinking about the fact that the pins needed to go horizontal rather than perpendicular. So once I got those straightened out, I was good to go. It was helpful having the pins in it, because when I did make a mistake, I was able to fairly quickly figure out what had gone wrong. So anyway, I think it's been a good test for this tool, and I think it's something that I will use many times again.